Hi students, today we are discussing heterotrophic mode of nutrition, and we know each organism in the biosphere, they are adapted to their environment. We know environment is the immediate surrounding of the organism. So the organisms, they are living in the particular part of the environment or biosphere, and they take different raw material from the environment, and they are well adapted in the environmental system. And the form of nutrition, because each and every organism, they require energy for their survival. So the form of nutrition differ in the dependence of the availability of nutrition and how it obtained. That is, which nutrients are available to the organism and how the nutrients are taken by the organism. On the basis, the form of nutrition is different. And in the last class, we discussed about the autotrophic mode of nutrition. That is, they are simply standing in a one region and they are absorbing inorganic nutrients and like water, carbon dioxide, and also light energy, and they synthesize as food material. So that organisms are well adapted to undertake photosynthesis. So nutrition can be divided into two types. One is autotrophic nutrition and the second is heterotrophic nutrition. Each organism, they require nutrients for their energy requirement to undertake various metabolic activities. So that may be different in autotrophic or heterotrophic, and this we have already discussed. Autotrophic nutrition, chemosynthesis, and also the photosynthesis process. And today we are discussing the heterotrophic mode of nutrition, because the heterotrophic, hetero which means different, and trophic which means different, and trophic which means nutrition. So they cannot synthesize their own food material, so they depend on directly or indirectly on the autotrophic organism. They cannot prepare their own food material, so they depend directly or indirectly on the autotrophic organism. And on the basis of the method of heterotrophic nutrition, the mode of heterotrophic nutrition, it can be divided into holozoic mode of nutrition and absorptive mode of nutrition. Heterotrophic nutrition can be divided into two types. One is holozoic mode of nutrition and the second is absorptive mode of nutrition, on the basis of how they are acquiring, how they are taking their food material. And holozoic mode of nutrition, holozoic which means they are ingesting their food material, so they are swallowing the food material or they are ingesting the food material. And all animals, the members that is belonging to kingdom Animalia and amoeba, the protozoan, also are belonging under the group holozoic mode of nutrition. And the second type is absorptive mode of nutrition. That is, they are releasing the enzymes to the external to their body, and they absorb nutrients by digesting external to their surface, and this mode of nutrition is called as absorptive mode of nutrition. That is, the organisms like fungi, bread mold, yeast, mushroom, the organisms that included under fungi, kingdom fungi like bread mold or rhizopus, yeast, mushroom, etc., they releases the enzymes into the external medium, and they undertake the digestion outside the body, and nutrients will be absorbed. And that process of heterotrophic nutrition, that mode of heterotrophic nutrition, that is called as absorptive mode of nutrition. So heterotrophism, they depend on another organism because they cannot synthesize their own organic material by using inorganic compound, and the heterotrophic organism can be divided into two types. One is holozoic mode of nutrition and the second is absorptive mode of nutrition. The holozoic mode of nutrition, food ingesting organism and food swallowing organism, and all animals are belonging to the holozoic mode of nutrition. And absorptive mode of nutrition, they releases the enzyme outside the body, so the digestion is taken place outside the body and nutrients will be absorbed by the organism, and the examples are all fungi including yeast, bread mold, mushroom, etc. So this is the basic type of classification of heterotrophic organism, and normally we will use saprophyte and parasite. Saprophyte, parasite and predator also there. So what is, there is another type of classification. Here the heterotrophic organism, the mode of nutrition, that is which material is used as, which material, which organism or which component is used as the energy source. On the basis of that, it can be divided into saprophyte and parasite. Saprophyte and parasite. Saprophyte and parasite and So a heterotrophic mode of nutrition can be classified on the basis of which is a type of nutrient or the source of nutrition, and it can be divided into saprophyte and parasite. Saprophyte, which means the organism that is living on the dead organic matter, that is they are living on the dead organic matter and they absorb the nutrients by decomposition, that is the absorptive mode itself, and they are called as saprophyte. And all decomposers like fungi members like bread mold, yeast, mushroom, all the fungal member that is coming under saprophytic mode of nutrition. And parasites are, these are also taking nutrients from a living body, from a, that is they are living on another living organism and they absorb nutrients or they take nutrients from the living organism, and that is called as parasites. And parasites, we know in the 9th standard we have studied in the chapter how do we fall ill. There are different parasitic organisms and they causes the diseases, and the parasites are Cuscuta. Cuscuta is a Cuscuta, the Hindi name of Cuscuta is Amar bale, and it is a plant. It is a plant parasite. It is a plant parasite. And others are ticks, lice, leech, tapeworm, or all these are animal parasites that may be living outside the body or inside the body. In the last year we have studied about filaria worm or the tapeworm that is living inside our body and they are taking nutrients. We know leech is the which is living outside the body. We have studied in the phylum Annelida. And lice, ticks are belong to arthropoda. They are living above the body of another organism and they are taking the nutrients. So the heterotrophic mode of nutrition, they depend on another organism. They depend on another organism for their nutrition. So here the nutrition can be divided into two types. One is autotrophic mode of nutrition and heterotrophic mode of nutrition. In the last part of the class we have discussed about chemosynthesis and also photosynthesis in detail. And the heterotrophic mode of nutrition can be divided into two types: holozoic mode of nutrition and absorptive mode of nutrition. Holozoic mode of nutrition, the organism they swallow the food material or ingesting the food material, and in the absorptive mode of nutrition, the digestion that is taken place outside the body and the nutrients subsequently absorbed by the organism. All the fungi, the decomposers are absorptive organism. And the type of the food material, whether is dead or living, it can be divided into heterotrophic mode of nutrition is divided into saprophyte or parasite. If a organism that is depending on a dead organic matter, and they are called as saprophyte and they are decomposers. The most common group of decomposers are fungus and also bacteria. And parasitic organism, they live on a living organism and they absorb the nutrients from the living organism, and they are called as parasites. And the plant parasites as given as per NCERT, that is Cuscuta or Amar bale. ticks, lice, leech, tapeworm, etc. Lot of parasitic organisms are there, and they causes diseases also in the organism. This is the first part, and next we can move into the nutrition in animals. In heterotrophic mode of nutrition, we are taking the complex food material, and we know in the animals and also fungal kingdom, they follow heterotrophic mode of nutrition. And on the basis of the complexity of the body of organism, there are different digestive systems are present. Normally, the organism, they are taking the complex food material that is either from the plants or another animal. That must be undergo the digestive process. The complex food material must be undergo digestive process, and that results in the formation of simple nutrients. So normally when we are taking food material, we are taking starch or protein or fats. That subsequent process that undergo digestion, and that results in the formation of glucose molecule. And like in the protein, there must be digestive process, and that results in the formation of amino acid. And that process we will discuss in the next part, that is in the digestion of human being. So in many of the organisms, digestive systems are present. In the higher organisms, digestive systems are present, and in the digestive process, through the enzymatic process, the complex food material will be break down into simpler components. And in this part, we are discussing the nutrition in amoeba. Amoeba is a unicellular organism. It is a unicellular or single cellular organism, and in the single cellular organism, the single cell will undertake all the process. Here there is no digestive system, nor is no tissues, nothing, only a single cell, and the single cell that is undertaking the nutritive process. And this will be asked in the examination how the nutrition is taken place. And this is the amoebal cell. This is a amoebal cell, and amoeba, this is a food particle that is present outside the body of the amoeba. And there is a nucleus. It is a eukaryotic organism belonging to Protista and Protozoa. Protista is a kingdom and Protozoa is a class. And this amoeba, the food capturing organ is pseudopodia. Pseudopodia. Pseudo, which means which means false. And we know podia or podus, which means feet or foot. That is false foot. The amoeba has no definite shape because the pseudopodia will be produced, and always the shape will be changed. So this is the food material, and the food material is gradually engulfed by the formation of pseudopodia, and the food is taken into the cytoplasm of the cell. And when the food is taken into the cell, and there is a food vacuole will be developed, and that will be surround the food material, and that food vacuole that contain various digestive enzymes, the food vacuole that contain various digestive enzymes, that will be digest the food material, and it will be absorbed. So in the case of amoeba, it is a unicellular organism. Pseudopodia is the food capturing organ. It engulfs the food material, and when the food is inside, the food particle is inside the amoebal cell, and a food vacuole will be produced, and the vacuole which contain digestive enzyme, and that will digest the food material, and it will be absorbed, and the waste material can be excreted through contractile vacuole. Contractile vacuole is for excretion of waste material. So this type of food capturing is present in the unicellular protozoan called amoeba, and this is called as phagocytosis or endocytosis. And I think we have studied this term in the 9th standard in the chapter cell. So here the food is captured by the pseudopodia, and in the unicellular organisms like amoeba or euglena, there are different types of the food capturing organ, like in paramecium. In paramecium. The food capturing and also the locomotory organ is cilia. Food capturing and locomotory organ is cilia. And in the case of trypanosoma or leishmania, there is flagella. Flagella is a locomotory and also predatory food capturing organ. So you must draw the different stages of nutrition of amoeba, and we must know we are taking the complex food material and that undergoes subsequent digestive processes, and that will be break down into simpler components. In the plants, by using the inorganic component, first glucose will be produced, and after the glucose production, it combine and produce starch. In our body, in animal body, in the heterotrophic organism, this starch, the complex food material, complex nutrient must be break down into simpler component, and that is taken place in the heterotrophic organism. So that is called as digestive process, and that require various enzymes, and through the process that will be break down into simpler component and it will be absorbed. So you must know what is the nutritive process, what is the nutrition, and what is taken by heterotrophic nutrition. The different events, different stages, that the important stages of the heterotrophic nutrition are: first one is ingestion. Here we seen that the food particle is captured, that is food is swallowed. So there is the ingestion of food material. So the holozoic mode of nutrition in the case of animals like amoeba to all other animals. Here in the case of holozoic mode of nutrition, the first step of ingestion, taking the food material. Second is digestion. The complex food material must be break down into simpler nutrients, that is starch must be break down into starch is a complex food material. It must be break down into its component called glucose through the process called digestion. So first step is ingestion, second step is digestion. That is break down into simpler component, and the third is absorption into the body, absorption into the bloodstream, and that is the third step. And the fourth one, that is assimilation. But that is by using these nutrients, our body will be undergo energy production, ATP production, and also the synthesis of new biomolecule by using the nutrient that is absorbed through the digestive process. And the last is excretion of waste material. Last step is excretion of waste material. So the holozoic mode of nutrition that include different stages, that is first one is ingestion, food capturing, second is digestion, breakdown of the larger molecule, larger nutrient into simpler component, and the third is absorption. The nutrients, the digested nutrients are absorbed into the blood and also absorbed into the tissues, and the fourth is tissue utilizes this nutrient for their energy production and also for their growth, and that is called as assimilation. And the last is removal of the waste material. Definitely by this metabolic process there will be carbon dioxide or urea or ammonia like waste material will be produced that must be excreted. So once again the holozoic heterotrophic mode of nutrition has ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and excretion. Ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and excretion. Once again, ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and excretion. These different various stages of digestive process is very important. So this is about the first part of heterotrophic mode of nutrition, and we have discussed about what is heterotrophic mode of nutrition and what are different types. And we have discussed about heterotrophic nutrition, unicellular organism amoeba, and what are the organs related to nutrition in the case of paramecium and also other unicellular organism. And what is the importance of digestive process, and what are the different stages of holozoic mode of nutrition like ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and excretion. And that's about
Right Education Center, Medical and Engineering Entrance Coaching Center, Hilal area, Doha, Qatar. For further enquiries, contact 306000679.